Our society elections are about to begin, and it's important for all of us to get involved. Under the Maharashtra Co-operative Societies Act of 1960, these elections are a crucial part of how our society functions and grows. By participating, we're helping to strengthen our community and ensure it reflects the interests of all members. To do that effectively, we need to start by checking the voters list to make sure everyone eligible is included. Staying informed about the candidates and the election process is key, so we can make knowledgeable decisions. Attending meetings gives us a chance to hear different viewpoints and ask questions directly. When it comes time to vote, it's essential to do so responsibly, considering what's best for the entire society. And if you're passionate about making a difference, think about contesting the election yourself. Our collective involvement is what shapes the future of our society. Let's walk through the election process step by step to understand how fairness and transparency are ensured. First, the managing committee appoints an independent returning officer, whose job is to oversee the election impartially. Next, the returning officer posts the provisional voters list based on society records, which is open to review for any corrections. After addressing objections, the final voters list is published, and only those on this final list can vote. Following this, the returning officer issues the election notice and schedule, detailing the available seats, any reservations, and key dates like nominations, scrutiny, withdrawals, polling, and counting. Eligible members then file their nominations, with each candidate requiring a proposer and a seconder, both valid voters. Each member can propose or second up to 5 candidates. The returning officer reviews all nominations, disqualifies any invalid ones, and after a period of withdrawal, publishes the final list of candidates. If the number of candidates exceeds the seats, a secret ballot is conducted. Note that proxy voting is not allowed. Votes are then counted transparently in the presence of candidates, and results are declared by the returning officer. Finally, the newly elected committee convenes within 15 days to elect key office bearers like the chairman, secretary, and treasurer. Throughout this process, transparency and adherence to the Maharashtra Co-operative Societies Act, 1960, and bylaws ensure that the election is conducted fairly. As members, the first important step is to carefully check your name in the provisional voters list. Make sure your name, flat number, and other details like address or share certificate number are accurate. If you find any mistake or omission, you should notify the returning officer promptly in writing to get it corrected. It's essential to ensure your name appears correctly in the final voters list, so you don't miss out on your voting rights. Next, if you want a joint or associate member to participate in the election process on your behalf, you need to contact the returning officer to get and submit the necessary forms. Usually, only the first named owner or primary member has the right to vote, but joint or associate members can vote if they've submitted the prescribed forms and documents as per the society's bylaws. Another key point is to understand the different categories of seats available and how many seats are reserved for each category, such as women, SC, ST, OBC, and VJNT. This will help you decide which category you wish to contest in. Make sure to keep an eye out for the nominations notice from the returning officer, which will be posted on the notice board or shared via email and WhatsApp, along with the important dates. Additionally, it's important to keep your maintenance dues up to date, as this is often a requirement for participation. I encourage everyone to attend meetings regularly to stay informed about important updates. If you're considering contesting in the elections, remember that your leadership and involvement truly matter in shaping the community. Lastly, always watch for notifications and don't hesitate to reach out to the returning officer, society office, or compliance team if you have any questions or need assistance with the election process. Our society, as per the Maharashtra Co-operative Societies Act, has a total of 169 members, with the managing committee comprising 11 seats. These seats are divided into categories to ensure fair representation. Specifically, we have 6 seats open to the general category, 2 reserved for women, 1 each for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes, and currently no seats reserved for VJNT. It's important to note that these seat allocations strictly follow our society bylaws and the relevant legal provisions. Reserved seats are designated exclusively for candidates from those categories. If no candidates from a reserved category come forward, those seats will remain vacant and cannot be filled by members from other categories. This rule maintains the integrity of the reservation system. To participate in reserve category contests, candidates must provide specific documents in line with the bylaws. For detailed information on documentation, the returning officer is the best point of contact. One key point to keep in mind is that the election is valid only if we meet the minimum quorum based on the total number of contestants required as per our bylaws. Lastly, please stay alert for official notifications and feel free to reach out to the returning officer, society office, or compliance team if you have any questions or face difficulties during this process. Your role truly makes a difference, and your participation is crucial for several reasons. First, it leads to better decisions because when more voices are heard, the outcomes reflect the community's needs more accurately. Transparency and accountability are enhanced when people get involved, ensuring that actions and policies are clear and open to scrutiny. By participating, we can reduce maintenance waste through more efficient use of resources and promote better planning and safety for everyone's benefit. Strong representation is key to making sure our interests are voiced and addressed properly. This, in turn, helps build a stronger, more connected community. Ultimately, your involvement leads to better governance that works for everyone. I encourage you to be a member, stay informed, and get actively involved. Vote responsibly, attend meetings, participate in discussions, and even consider contesting roles if you're interested. Together, we can build a better, stronger, and well-managed society. Make sure to watch for notifications about upcoming events or meetings. If you have any questions or concerns about this process, don't hesitate to reach out to the returning officer, the society office, or the compliance team. Your engagement is vital and appreciated. Let me walk you through some frequently asked questions about the elections to clear up any doubts you might have. First, who can vote in the elections? Only eligible members whose names appear on the final voters list and who are not disqualified under the MCS Act or the bylaws can participate. Regarding joint or associate members, generally only the primary member, the first-named owner, can vote. However, under certain conditions, joint or associate members might also have voting rights as specified later in the rules. Companies that own flats can participate too. They need to submit a board resolution or an authority letter to authorize a representative to vote on their behalf. If you have pending dues, be aware that you might be disqualified from voting or contesting in the elections according to the bylaws and MCS Act provisions. A member can propose up to 5 candidates and second up to 5 candidates, but this is subject to the election rules and guidance from the returning officer. Proxy voting is not permitted, so votes must be cast personally. If the number of candidates matches the number of available seats, those candidates may be declared elected unopposed without conducting a vote. Election schedules will be communicated via notices on the board, as well as through email or WhatsApp if available, so keep an eye out for these updates. Any objections to the voters list can be submitted to the returning officer within the time frame mentioned for the provisional list. The returning officer is responsible for declaring the results after counting votes, and this usually happens in the presence of candidates or their representatives. Lastly, certain seats are reserved, such as those for women and other categories, in accordance with the law and bylaws. Please make sure to watch for various notifications and don't hesitate to reach out to the returning officer, society office, or compliance team if you have any questions or concerns about this process. Before we conclude, I want to emphasize a few important points. This presentation is meant to give you a general overview of the election process in cooperative societies, but it doesn't replace the detailed legal provisions found in the Maharashtra Co-operative Societies Act, the relevant rules, or your society's registered bylaws. For any specific procedures, eligibility criteria, or timelines, you should always refer to those official documents. Also, keep in mind that if there's any conflict or confusion between what's shared here and the actual legal provisions, the law and the bylaws take precedence. To stay updated, please watch for official notifications, and if you have any questions or need clarification, don't hesitate to reach out to the registrar office, your society office, or the compliance team. They're your best resources for any concerns related to this process.